Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. Today you're checking out my Fallout 76 guide detailing the best perks I've found for levels 1 through 10. If you're just starting out in Fallout 76 or if you're new to the Fallout series in general, this guide will help you get through the first 10 levels, explaining the best cards you can get to start your character off right. So let's get started. So let's take a look at the combat-based perks first in the game, starting with Lone Wanderer. This perk gives you 10% less damage and 10% increased action point regen. Taking less damage in this game is a great thing overall, as well as having extra action points to use in VATS or for sprinting and jumping and things like that. Next up, you've got Action Boy or Action Girl, again adding more AP regen, this time 15% at rank 1. Again, having more action points in combat is just a good thing to have, and this does stack with Lone Wanderer, so you'll have at least 25% AP regen to start off the game. Next up is Concentrated Fire, and what this does is it lets you target specific limbs while in VATS. If you don't have this perk, then you won't be able to do that. You'll just get a general percent to hit. This lets you do things like target the eye, the groin, the leg, to do possibly more damage. Most builds will use VATS eventually, so this is good to pick up as soon as possible. And the last combat perk, at least what I see as a combat-based perk, is the First Aid card. This is going to help your Stimpaks restore more health as you rank up the card. This is great because Stimpaks are expensive and you tend to use them just for emergencies, so why not get the most out of it when you do use it? Now we're going to move on to more of a supplemental perk card sets. And these are going to be cards that just help you function better in the game. First one is going to be Pack Rat. What this card does is it's going to reduce the weight of all your junk items up to 25% at rank 1. This is important because the game basically has a lot of junk in it that needs to be collected and broken down. And you won't always have a crafting station available to break it down into less weight. So being able to carry more junk farther is definitely a big part of the game. So I definitely recommend at least picking up one of these before you hit level 10. Going along with reducing our weight overall, we've got the Through Hiker perk, and this is going to reduce the weight of food and drinks. So you wouldn't think that this would help a lot, but it turns out that in Fallout 76, food and drink can weigh quite a lot. We're talking over 1 to 2 pounds for certain items, depending on what you're using, and it does add up. You unlock this perk at rank 7, and I would recommend equipping it as soon as possible. So the next two perks are focused more on sustaining yourself out in the world. The first one being Lead Belly. This lets you take 30% less radiation at rank 1 from both eating and drinking. The reason why I think this is great is because it applies not to just one or the other, but to both of those, and you're going to be doing those all the time. The way radiation works in Fallout 76 is it does add up pretty quickly, and it then negates your health. So the more radiation you have, the less max health your character is going to have as well. Equipping this perk will help you take less radiation overall, making sure that you keep your health as high as possible for as long as possible. Going along with that, I also recommend the Slow METABOLIZER perk. What this perk does is it essentially stretches out your food by an additional 25% at rank 1. And I picked this over the similar perk that does the same for water. You can get both, but water is actually pretty easy to find in this game. And it seems like, by contrast, finding good quality food is a lot more difficult, either just picking it up or crafting it yourself. So having that last a little bit longer is definitely worth it. A definite must-have early on in this game is going to be PICKLOCK, at least rank 1. This is going to help you get into the most basic locks, either doors or containers. This could help you progress through certain quests or get better loot, so it's great to have this as soon as possible. And last but not least, I added Pharma to this list. Chances are you'll get at least 1 or 2 of these early on. What it does is it gives you an extra chance to find chems anytime you search a chem container. Now that can be a first aid box, could be a doctor's bag or something else that you find out in the world. 40% chance at rank 1 is actually pretty high, meaning you can get extra Stimpaks, extra Radaway, Med-X for free anytime you get lucky. Just make sure that you search the container first to actually use the perk. So that's going to wrap up this guide on the best perks for level 1 through 10 in Fallout 76. Let me know in the comments below if you think I missed any useful perks in this range. And until then, I'll see you in the next video. Peace.